What up, YouTube? Moose coming at you once again with another unboxing video. Today we are taking a look at Rolle Player Adventure, as well as the Nefras' Judgement and Gulpax's Secret expansion packs for the game. This is a 1 to 4 player game from Thunderworks Games, and let's get started. Alright, so first up we're going to take a look at the core game box. So, of course, it's Rolle Player Adventures by Keith Matejka and James Ryan. It's a Thunderworks game. You can see beautiful box art here. There's some spot UV. It might not come out in the camera over like the axe and stuff here. Decent sized box. I mean, it's a pretty thick, chunky boy. So it says ages 14 and up, 1 to 4 players, 90 to 150 minutes. And we'll go ahead and pull the top off if it wants to come. So, slide that out of the way. Right off the top, we have a blank, like, filler piece. So that's trash. And then we are presented with the like the character sheets. There's a whole pad of them. Mine seem to have gotten a little bit of crumpled. But these take, and I'll go ahead and just pull one off before I set the rest aside. And let me grab my knife real quick, because I'm going to certainly need that. So these are the player boards. And so there are 4 of those, and they're dual layer. Your fatigue goes over here, your like player portrait over here, class abilities, and there's a spot for your hand, your discard, and spent stuff. But then the piece of paper, if you see, there's a slot, and that fits in there, and then you have your like information, and it's colored stuff. I think that's pretty cool, neat little feature. I'll just keep going down on this side. So a cloth bag to, I assume, for, you know, dice. It's a nice quality, nothing crazy. Next up is the skill book, and I had seen other pictures, and maybe I'm just mistaken, but I thought it was like a white background, so I don't know if they changed their mind at some point for better contrast. So different skills, so deception, endurance, probably can't see that, force, interpretation, introspection, might, observation, persuasion, quickness, resistance, speechcraft, stealth, and thiefcraft. The different skills that you would do skill checks on, and then there's like based on. I'm not exactly familiar with the system at all, but you roll different lines based on like the tier, I'm guessing, and then you got to match it up to see if your skill check passes. Next up, we have a real nice tray to organize stuff, and there's a bag of stuff here. Let me open it real quick. Silica gel. So there's some screen printed wooden bits here, if I can get the baggie open, that have like a player hand on it. And I'm assuming those will fit. Am I correct? I don't know if that's right, but they fit there. That's where I'm going. And then there is some black and green wooden cubes. I realize my lighting. Let me adjust this real quick. I had to mount my camera up much higher to be able to get everything on video. Oh, Also, it doesn't help that one of the flaps was folded in on my leg. Then there's a whole bunch of these clear cubes. Let me pull a few of them out. Real nice, like acrylic. 2 bags of those. And then there's the same thing, but blue. Oh, this bag is larger ones. Okay. These are larger ones of the clear. And then I said there's these blue ones. That's in that tray there. Continuing on down that side, another organizer. There's a deck of cards here, small ones. It says modifier on it, so we'll quickly slice that open. Now obviously I realize that there are spoilers, so I'm going to try not to show any of that kind of stuff. These are all marked. Totally, I hope those aren't numbered. I'll have to sort that out later, but modifier cards. Nothing, just text heavy. Those are there. Then there appears to be a character deck, or not character, monsters deck here. Again, I won't really shuffle through it because I don't want to spoil anything. I'm sure this is a very early thing you face, but where you got to place the dice and stuff like that. I mean, it's a pretty thick deck. Backside, yeah, those are numbered, enemy numbers, so you don't have to be spoiled by anything looking for anything. And then looks like there are 4 player aids here on these bigger cards, which is nice. Tells you how to play and whatnot. And then we've got in this bag some dice that are 2-colored. I think I heard they were referred to as like familiar dice. And then just, you know, normal 6-sided dice in a variety of colors, as you can see. So again, it's got a nice organization system there. I'll have to sort it all out later. Then moving over to the right hand side here, yeah, we'll hold on that for a moment. We have our play mats. There are 1, 2, 5, 6 of them, and they're double-sided. You know, they use like the linen paper that you typically see on rule books and stuff like that. So 2 pages, piece of paper in size. I won't show you those to not spoil anything. And I just dropped those as well. Let me grab those real quick. Alright. Then next up is another piece of cardboard. That's trash. And then we get into the adventure books, of which there are a stack. So let me cut this open real quick. Didn't even need to do that. It already came undone. Sorry about bumping the camera. And there is a Thunderworks game catalog. That's just going to go right in the trash. I will check out their website for whatever I want. So, first things first is the rule book. It's version 3 rule book. I don't know when they did that. It's only 23 pages, but again, it walks you through, you know, the components, the layout of the boards, importing characters if you have Rolle Player itself, key concept, adventure setup, choices, skill checks, you know, basically how to play the game, combat, saving campaign progress, so of course you can save, adding and removing players, legendary mode, and an icon glossary. And then we get into the adventure books themselves. So there's Battle at Black Lake for Adventure 1. Terran's Trophy is Adventure 2. Outbreak in Undercity, Adventure 3. One thing I'm really digging is the classic D&D adventure book vibe. You know, they always had like a very drab color like this with a little bit of texture and stuff. Above the Dreaming Sea, I've heard people say, you know, this cover reminds them of Squid Game, and I definitely have to agree with that. So that's Adventure 10, actually. Side Quest 1, so these are out of order. Deathmatch at the Coliseum of Ashes. Adventure 6, Bog-Root Demon. That looks pretty cool. I guess on the back it gives you a little bit about backstory of the adventure. Adventure 9, the Gurlung Colossus. So like a giant like water mech. Adventure 3, Dragons of the Sunken City. Adventure 4 is the Eye of Ulos. 5, the Crack in Kolbak. It's kind of look reminiscent of like Yoda from the Star Wars universe. It kind of looks like Tatooine in the bit in the background, honestly. Adventure 7, getting pretty thick. Ghost Eaters of the Forgotten Forest. And the adventure finale, and boy is that a chunker. How many pages? 67 pages. The Gate of Brizor Wall. So I don't know how much of those you will actually see on one playthrough. You know, you might only see part of the content. You'd have to go through multiple times, I bet, to see everything. Here is the Tome of Encounters. So let me get this plastic cut open. Again, I'm not sure what's spoilery, so I'll try. Let me move some stuff real quick. I don't want to flip through it too much and spoil anything. Yeah, it's like immediately right in, but this one is Adventure at Black Lake. Obviously, you're going to play this, otherwise you're not playing the game at all. Disappointed to see how many of my books have like a corner. I don't know how well you can see it on here. They're like got bent in the box somehow, but pretty thick, hefty book. Not crazy picture heavy, of course, which is fine. I don't want pictures. I want gameplay. Our token sheet, a bunch of coins, and some markers. There's like a 10 mark multiplier, a 5 multiplier, some stuff like that. These are numbered. And unfortunately, because of that corner damage, some of these tokens are like delaminated a bit, but they punch out really well, so I don't know. That's a good sign. I'll have to punch those later. Then we get into our, I'm assuming it's like a campaign tracker. Along the top it's got the campaign, some numbers, mastery tracks, XP, gold, items, active over here, King's Favor. Not a very thick sheet. I'm sure you could photocopy, or I imagine Thunderworks might have downloadable PDF. So then we move into the middle organizer here, and there's space for something here. Let me pull this out real quick. Round marker. Okay. And then this organizer has markings in the bottom and printed on what decks go where to help you organize. So yeah, there's that. This deck here, and now that these say stop, I will not open these at all, just to avoid the spoilers. But it says stop. This is the title deck. Do not shuffle this deck. These cards in numerical order. Their numbers are on their backs. Do not examine these cards unless the storybook instructs the players to do so. So they have that, and they're numbered on the back side so that you can put them in here, you know, without ruining anything. This is the rare deck. It's a decent thickness. They are like the linen texture cards. I just examined that, and again, numbered. Then we have a big chunky deck here. This is the Discovery deck. And again, they're numbered for you. That way you don't have to spoil anything. So I do know one thing that I'd seen is that in their newer version, they modified this lid. I'm pretty sure it was this one. There used to be actual dividers to keep like the different sections upright, and they removed that to make it a little easier to put the lid back on, so you ain't gotta like finagle cards back in. The final tray over here, and we'll go ahead and open this deck because it does not say anything about spoilers. So the back side of this card here says Templar. This one says Assassin. Considering they're color coded, my guess is these ones line up, if my camera will focus, with the various characters. So yeah. Oh, okay, maybe abilities, different kinds of abilities. So there's that deck. And then here we have the deck that doesn't want to open. So these look to be characters. Yeah, the backside has just got their stats, at least that part of the deck. So I'll take that, let you see some of the artwork. Again, I'm not sure if these are foes you'll face or characters or whatnot. I'll just rifle through that real fast so that I don't spoil nothing. And then there's also these. These definitely look more like monsters you'd fight face. So that's on the one side. Oh, okay. So they're just variants of an elf. Next up, we have what I'm assuming are the enemy deck traits. Okay, there's a couple. So there's the trait deck, and these have, again, I mean, kind of explanatory traits for your character. And then the familiar deck. Oh, I wish my camera had stopped focusing on the wrong thing. There we go. The familiar deck, which I'm assuming, again, I'm not familiar with Rolle Player. I'm assuming these are like companions to help you out. Here we have a deck of skills, it looks like. Okay, there's two decks here. So there's a skill deck with... Alright, so my camera SD card filled, so re-recording this little segment here. But, so this is the skill deck. As you can see, a bunch of various skills that I'm assuming your character can acquire. And then we have the scroll deck. The thing I like about this so far that I'm seeing is that the art style is very, very much, excuse me, the same as the most other Thunderworks games. art style typically is. And then the last deck that we have in the box is, at least on this card, marked as armor. We'll find out here in a second. So I'm not a sleever. I don't care about sleeving cards, not in a game like this. If it was something like, yeah, Exploding Kittens is the first one that comes to mind. I sleeve games like that because you're constantly playing with the cards. So anyways, so there's a weapon deck and an armor deck. So here's the weapons, or the armor I mean. So various pieces of armor you can acquire. Lots of rings, amulets, and stuff like that. And the weapons deck, as you'd expect, different kinds of weapons, you know, crossbows, bows, maces, flails, swords, and so on and so forth. So that was everything that's in the box. Oh, nope, I take that back. We almost forgot the mini. So there's only one singular mini in this game, and it's for like your character, your party character. Really good detail. So, yeah, so that's it for this box. I can see here there's more storage for a couple bits there. So I'm going to go ahead and put everything back in the box here, and we're going to move on to the next one. Alright, so then the first expansion pack that had come out for Rolle Player Adventure was called Nefras' Judgement. I'm assuming this is Nefras right here on the box. And, you know, it's a pretty good sized box, pretty chunky. So it says, Nefras, the snake-faced goddess of judgment, rules over the realms of dream and memory. She observes all souls in the planiverse to discover their true nature and reward them accordingly. But Nefras is not the goddess of retribution. In this expansion for Rolle Player Adventures, Nefras will judge each character in your party as they make personal choices that are woven through the storyline of your campaign. Uncover your backstory and choose your alignment in Rolle Player Adventures, Nefras' Judgment. So here you can see some of the included bits. Again, ages 14 plus, 1 to 4 players, 9 to 150 minutes. And of course, this just adds into the campaign. We get the box top off here. So in this one, there is not a whole lot that is included. Just a small little punch board with 6 different colored tokens. Then there is some additional player boards that you will have. Apparently my knife blade is really dull. I did cut it, I swear. Sheesh. Okay. There we go. And that's a bit of trash. So again, there's 4 player boards. And this is akin to like the base game. It's dual layer. So your backstory, and then it has a spot for your alignment down here. And then there's another pad of papers. And just like in the first game, I'll go ahead and rip one off. And it is a dual, since it's a dual layer, actually I guess it's technically a triple layer. This slides in there, and then you like your title goes at the top, your adventure and locations, and then down here is where your line goes. So nice thick quality. That definitely slides out a little easier than the base game. Then there are cubes, one for each of those 6 colors. And I believe these have a spot in the base game box, by the way. I'll just set those aside. And there's another deck of cards that says this is the rare deck. I'm imagining, nope, they're all rare. So again, these are numbered. They'll go sequentially with the ones in the base game. And then the final part, thoughtfully included this piece of paper to protect the spine. But the last part of this is the Backstory Codex, and I don't know how much I can show you without being spoilery, but it basically just goes through the different, I guess, classes. Walks you through how to add this to the campaign, and clean up and whatnot, and then this starts the very first of class of that. Yeah, so that's it. Not a whole lot on this one. Matter of fact, I'll throw everything back into the box right quick. Actually, I'm curious, how well do those fit in there? Yeah, so my guess is one of those for the player. The deck of cards. So the last bit, a very heavy box I will add. And the only other expansion so far, I don't know if they have plans to release any more expansions, is Rolle Player Adventures Gulpax's Secret expansion. Unfortunately, and I hate it, there's a hole in my box right here where they punched a hole through it at Amazon, but it's not the end of the world. So we flip it around to the back, and it says Gulpax's Secret. A new era dawns to unify the kingdom of Ulos under a single banner. Queen Gimnax establishes the nation of Nalos while others band together, forming the Draggle Alliance to resist the steady growing kingdom of the Gnomish Queen. Meanwhile, Ulos' greatest inventor, Gulpax the Crafter, builds a mysterious device of tremendous power deep in the frozen expanse. With war on the horizon, it's a dangerous time to be a hero. You'll make allies and enemies unravel the Crafter's mystery and decide the fate of Ulos. Gulpax's Secret is an all-new campaign for the cooperative storytelling player board game Rolle Player Adventures. And similar, so it shows you components on the back. Requires Rolle Player Adventure to play. Obviously, it's an expansion pack. So we'll go ahead and flip this back over and get the cover off. And immediately we are greeted with a new pad of character sheets. I'm assuming because you play this or the base game one, it's not like this adds onto it. I'm not sure. I would hope you can carry your character over. Let's see. So we'll take a look at these real quick. So stop. This is the title deck. Do not shuffle this deck. Boy, that is a dirty packaging. I hope the cards. Yeah, it's just the packaging. This is the title deck. There's 108. I don't know if there's 108 cards. I'm curious if this will fit into the base game box or not. Another one, and this is the Discovery deck and the Rare deck. A bunch of cards. I'll show you that. That was the. And then here we have new characters, I'm guessing, and enemies to fight, so on. Got quite a mess on the floor to clean up now. Alright, so oh, okay, well, I don't want to spoil, so we will flip these over. Yeah, so these are all, okay, these are all enemies, so I'll show you the dwarf one again. It's the same as the base games, and so it's labeled on the back, which is nice. Then there are 4 player aids. Again, I'm assuming these probably are updated, although considering how new my base game is, these might be the exact same as that, or they might have a little bit extra because of Gulpax's Venture. Then we have this pack of cards here with more of these characters. Again, I'm not sure what they are, but they're yeah, characters of some sort. Alright, let me shove the box to the side. So then we have the Explorer's Guide here, Another nice spiral bound, and it was protected as well, as you can see. So yeah, this is just right on it into the adventure. That's all for that, at least. So that'd be akin to the tome in the base game, I believe. And digging down into the box, we'll come back to this in a second. So we have another campaign tracker, and this one's definitely different. It says Gulpax's Secret Appeared. It's got the 7 campaigns, 5 bosses, mastery tracks, and stuff like that, but it looks fairly similar to the other one. Again, not a very big pad, so not a lot of replayability. And then let me pull this over here and open this stack. Can't wait to dig into this game. Probably a little extreme buying everything right off the bat, but it is what it is, and if I decide to resell it, I can sell it as a whole set. So anyways, right here we have a book of some sort. It says Gulpax on the back, so I'm assuming some sort of like story journal type thing. I'm not going to open that to avoid spoilers for you. I don't care about spoilers. My memory is like that of a goldfish. Gulpax's Secret Expansion, the rule book. I think you guys are going to like this. So, ready? Alright. That's it. My guess is just basically how to add this into the base game. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more adventure maps. Again, they are the 2-page fold-out, double-sided. So this looks like a castle here of the aforementioned queen. It says Festivals of Erox, something like that. Epilogue, the Scrying Pool. I'm not sure if epilogue is before or after. That's one of those things. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Adventure 1, the Festival of Heroes. Adventure 3, the Hive. Like a bumblebee. It almost looks like C-3PO from Star Wars. Adventure 4, Ascending Kethra's Step. It's kind of cool art. Lots of gears and stuff there. Some like magnifying glasses. Adventure 2, The Servants of Azima. Like a bubonic plague type thing. Adventure 5, Saurian Wasteland. Big old frog. Just threw that one right into the trash. Adventure 6, The Frozen Expanse, and I want to point out that these ones are all staple bound, and this one actually switched to a glue binding, and so now I'm curious. That one is 71 pages. And then the Adventure 7, Arcasian Pit, and that one is thick, 87 pages. So that was everything that was in the box. Hope you enjoyed that.